Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Carol C.C. Miller, your positive impact coach, peace activator, and global hugger, coming to you for another Tuesday, Thursday chat on heightening your celebrations and lessening your sorrows through a positive focus. Please join me in comments and let me know where you're joining from. I'm here in Chicago, and it is a overcast but beautiful spring day. And also let me know if you can hear me okay. I've been having some challenges with my microphone the last day. Some meetings I'm in, they can hear me, and other meetings they can't. So I haven't quite figured it out. But if you can let me know if you can hear me. Hi, Nicole. Can you hear me okay? Let me know that. That would be fantastic. So I will drop into the comments as much as I can, but if I go in there too frequently, I will get off track of what I want to discuss today. And I actually am volunteering this afternoon, so as soon as I get off of here, I am heading out to do some volunteer work, which I love doing. When you can incorporate service with things you love doing, all the better. I love sailing, and I volunteer at an organization that helps teach people who have physical limitations how to sail. So we're getting our season started and getting ready. Yay, Rachel, thank you, loud and clear. I'm glad to hear that. I was in a meeting yesterday and I was very soft-spoken, which is not like me. So it's good to know that you can hear me. So today, one of our community members, it's probably been a couple weeks ago, I believe it was Amy. I'm sorry if I'm wrong on who asked, but somebody said that they identified with anxiety and wanted me to discuss that. So before we get into that conversation, which I'm happy to discuss, there's really very few conversations that I won't approach, because I think there's always a way we can bring more love, kindness, compassion, and peace to any situation. So that's what I'm here for. But let's go over some guidelines on, especially if you don't know me and you're joining me for the first time. For me, one size does not fit all. That saying, I don't know where it started, but for me, it's not true. So some of the things I share here every Tuesday, Thursday, or if you're in my community on Mondays, may not resonate with you. And guess what? That is okay. Some of it may be, yes, I absolutely agree, use that. Some of it might be, I'm interested to learn more, or maybe I'll give it a try. And that's okay. But if it's something that does not feel good or work for you, it is okay to let it go. I'm not a one size fits all person. So some people I'm going to resonate with and others I'm not. Or a situation that I'm talking about might resonate with you, and the next day it might not. So it's okay that way too. And then I also want to remind you, for me personally, I'm also not big on the words always or never and absolutes. I have done things that I said I would never do before. So I like to say, I can't imagine ever doing that. Or the majority of times I do that, things like that. So I work on a scale of 0 to 100. 0 being always unkind, always unloving, uncompassionate, and in chaos. And the 100s being always kind, always loving, always compassionate, always peaceful. Personally, I don't know if there's anybody who achieves that 100 level, maybe in moments, but the always part, my guess is that's probably not a human experience to be always that. I work on staying in the 80 to 100 range. The people I coach, I would say, are from, I haven't figured out if it's 30 to 40, but I would say 40 to 100 range. Because if you're in the 0 to 20, pretty sure you don't resonate with me. If you're in the 30, you may not be ready to move forward to feeling a little bit better. I am here as an invitation. There is not a request or a demand on who you should be and how you should be. But if you want to feel a little bit better, add a little bit more kindness, compassion, peace, and love into your world, I'm your girl. So, hi, Lisa. Good to see you here. It's sunny in Cleveland. Send some of that sun my way, please, although it's nice temperatures. So I'm going to be at the lake, so I appreciate when it's a little warmer outside. So let's get into, also, last thing I wanted to say as far as making sure you understand who I am. I'm a coach. I love supporting people in growing their dreams from personal things that they want to grow to professional things they want to grow. The majority of people I work with are women. I have worked with men too. It just tends to be women are more drawn to the work that I do, which is totally fine. I am not a counselor. I'm not a licensed therapist. So especially as we talk about anxiety, I want people to know, the woman who asked about it said she is diagnosed with anxiety. So for diagnosis, I'm sorry, my headset is driving me crazy today. For the diagnosis of things like that, it is absolutely helpful to get expert help on whatever it is that you're dealing with. That's your superpower when you're taking care of yourself and letting go of what other people might think. The whole idea of mental health and wellness being a stigma, it hurts my heart, because if you had a heart issue, you would go seek assistance and help to heal that, whether it was from Eastern medicine or Western medicine or whatever. You would seek out that support for yourself. So I encourage you, if you feel anxiety is overwhelming and taking control of your life, I really encourage you to seek out the help that could help support you in diminishing those feelings from your world. May not make them go away. Again, I am not a psychiatrist, but it may assist you in helping that. What I'm going to share with you is tools that I use and I coach with people, because I do think the majority of us have anxiety at some level. It's when it overrules everything in our life is when it becomes the problem that needs probably more professional attention. I don't want to say I'm a professional, but a professional in the mental health wellness arena, I guess I should say. So what is anxiety? It's worry, it's nervousness, it's unease. There's many things that it could manifest as, but it is about having that feeling of not in control. And so what causes it? Goodness, what doesn't cause it? Stress, health issues, financial issues, relationship issues, things that are going on in the world that scare you or that make you worry or nervous about things. There's a variety of things. So that's why anxiety can be a tough cookie to tackle, because there's so many ways it can show up, and there's so much in our environment that can appear to be anxiety ridden situations that it's hard to move through. So we may resort to eating to feel comfortable, smoking, doing drugs, all these other things to kind of numb ourselves from feeling our feels in order to move forward. So anxiety is not who you are. Anxiety is something you might be experiencing, but who you are is love. Who you are is kindness. Who you are is compassion, and who you are is peace. So anything that takes us out of our truth, that's where anxiety can live. So if we can come up with some tools to bring us back to our truth, and I think it's really important. I've been practicing love, kindness, compassion, and peace for years now, and I still deal with frustration. I still deal with anger. I still deal with being hurt, taking things personally, or all sorts of things that can allow anxiety to start taking over me. But I have tools to work with, so I don't stay in those spaces for very long. Certainly not as long as I had in the past before I started practicing daily practices. Hi, Crystal. So good to have you here. Yes, and Crystal, I did not mention that, but thank you for bringing it up. I did mention if you need Eastern or Western attention. Sometimes people need medications for that too, and that is okay. It's when we get into judging other people for their experience and how they move through their experience, then we're losing our own power. So stay within your power. Stay within the knowledge that you deserve to feel calm, content, and peaceful, and work on ways to bring that about. Sometimes it requires medication. Sometimes it requires meditation. Sometimes it requires physical activity, but only you are going to know what is best for you. And sometimes that requires expert medical intervention to help you. But I really want to encourage you to realize you're worthy of being helped, whether it's some tools that I give you or whether it's tools that you need from somebody who is more advanced and steeped in the knowledge of how anxiety lives and moves through our bodies. So some examples that I'm going to give you today are one thing for me, it's not even focused anxiety wise, but I focus on appreciation. I focus on it so much that like I'll look out the window and I'm appreciating a pretty cloud in the sky. Like, so I go into a whole lot of different things that I appreciate. And I spend a lot of my time thinking about what I appreciate. Now, when I'm in a challenging, struggling time in my life, I go to the basics. Hi, Kimberly. Yes, we can keep strong, never to feel bad helping yourself. It's so important to help yourself. But when I am having a challenge, my mom passed away, it's a little over 2 years ago now. And her last year, she was on 24/7 oxygen to help keep her going. I had never thought about it before, how much I just don't even think about breathing. Most of us don't have to think about breathing. Most of us aren't on machines to help keep us alive and breathing. So when I'm going through a really hard time, I think about the things that I take for granted, because maybe right now something's so hard that I can't appreciate having a job because I don't have a job, those kinds of things. But I can appreciate that I'm able to breathe on my own. I can appreciate that I have a warm bed to sleep in. I can appreciate that I don't have to ask my heart to start beating for me. It does it on its own. Regardless of what I do to it, it still keeps pumping for me. So I really focus a lot on appreciation. That's one of the things I do. And that's one of the things I work on with my clients too. If we're talking about anything that's frustrating, whether it's a person or experience, I usually ask them, what are 3 things within that experience or with that person can you right now say you appreciate? And I would say 90, maybe even 95% of the time, they can come up with something that the 3 things that they appreciate. Sometimes it's you're in that so much, and maybe it's somebody that triggers you all the time, so it's hard to find appreciation in that person. But you can appreciate that that's the minority of your relationships. The rest of the people in your life are much easier to deal with, or this is the experience that the rest of your experiences are easier to deal with when you can't find appreciation in that moment. So that's something to think about as well. And then I focus on breathing, and that's another tool I use with clients. Now, there are many different varieties of breathing techniques to help center you. The basic one I do is I just put my hand on my heart, take a deep breath, 4 counts in, hold it for 4 counts, and then exhale for 4 counts. And I might do that 3 to 5 to 10 times, but it's giving your body the oxygen you need to make better decisions, to calm your mind a bit. Because when we're in the anxiety modes, or we're in fear or anger or anything, we tend to constrict our breathing during times like that. So we're really not replenishing our body in the best way for us to move forward. So do that. The next tool I'm going to tell you, I have to admit, I'm not really good at it. I know several people who are super good at it, and they amaze me, is to meditate. Even if you can meditate 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, that again is going to calm your mind. Now, I do guided meditations, and I usually do them just before I go to bed. And I'll try to post it in comments. I don't know if I'll be able to right now. Maybe I'll do it later. I like a gentleman named Dauschi, Dauschy. He has a variety. He has a healing guided meditation, self-love meditations. He has several of them. They're like 2 to 3 hours long. And he even says in them, you can go to sleep in them. So that kind of helps put me in the space to go into a peaceful sleep, because it is quite challenging for me to turn my mind off. Even if it's good things, which a lot of times it is, but when I put my head on the pillow, I'm like already thinking, what can I do tomorrow? What can I do, 2 minutes from now? So meditation will help calm your mind and will also help with releasing that anxiety. Move your body, like take a walk, dance, do something to get some physical activity going, because that's going to help release those happy chemicals in our body that will help release the anxiety. So try to just move your body. If you're getting stuck into frustration, fear, anxiety, overwhelm, move your body. switch your environment. Like if you're at your computer, walk away from your computer for 10 minutes even. Now, again, if you're in a work environment where a boss is looking at you and you can't do that, maybe then just take some deep breaths or something like that. But do something to shift what you're currently thinking about and getting active into knowing it's going to be okay. And then the last one I wanted to say, and there's a lot that you can use here, but the last one is really, really pay attention to your self-talk. When I start with a new client, because I do work so much on having a positive focus, which by the way, doesn't mean you pretend, oh, I don't have any anxiety because I'm positive. That's not it at all. It's about meeting yourself where you are and bringing a little gentleness and compassion and kindness to that situation to focus on what you want rather than easily focusing on what you don't want when the don't want is staring you in the face. And it might be making faces at you, trying to get your attention. So it really does take that work and that diligence to know you deserve to feel better. You deserve it. You're worthy of it. It is who you actually are. And then we let these life experiences make us feel like we're not worthy of it, but we really are, each one of us. You don't have to do anything on this earth to be worthy of being here. Maybe breathing, I guess breathing and your heart beating. You might need those two things to be worthy of being here. But otherwise, you don't have to have a certain degree. You don't have to be, I know somebody is on here right now who was talking about, I'm trying to quit smoking recently. You could be a smoker, you could be a non-smoker. It's whatever it is, you are worthy of feeling your best. So that's what I'm here to do, is to help people feel a little bit better, to realize that they matter in this world. And the more people feel good about themselves, the less likely they're going to harm themselves, and the less likely they're going to harm others. And harm is in thought, it is in the words we use, and it's in the actions we take. A lot of social media has a lot of hurtful, harmful words out there that if you go inward and ask, how does that feel to me? If I were to say what I just posted to myself, how would that feel? Probably wouldn't feel very good. So pay attention to what you're saying to yourself. I kind of went off on a tangent there. When I start working with somebody, I ask them for the first week, just pay attention to what your thoughts are. Don't chastise them. Don't do anything but think about, write them down. What are you thinking about on a daily basis? And we have thousands and thousands of thoughts. So you're not going to track each one of them, but you'll have a general idea. And then my next step is to congratulate yourself when you catch those negative self-talk, because when you catch it, then you can change it. It's when we're aware of what we're thinking. It's when we're aware of the words we're using and our actions we're taking, we can either keep going because it feels good, or we can change it because we know it doesn't feel good. I'm pretty sure if you were to say to yourself, and I really don't even like saying this, I am stupid. When you say an I am, please make that word behind it to be compassionate and caring towards yourself. But that's a pretty obvious negative self-talk. But there's a lot of nuanced ones. If you don't think about it and you're on autopilot, you don't even realize, but well, I can't do that. That's a negative self-talk. You could choose you don't want to do that, and that's totally fine. But if it's something that's important to you, you can do it. It might look a little different than the way it's set up right now, but you can do a lot of things if it's important to you. So I would encourage you to think of that too. And this headset is driving me crazy. So again, let's go over our tips for the day. Appreciation. Focus breathing. Anytime you start getting that monkey mind and you're losing control, start just taking some deep breaths. And also be gentle with yourself. It's so easy when you get into anxiety and you let it take over. Like, think about, you know what? Last week, before I started this practice, last week, that took over an hour like that. Now I caught myself in 20 minutes. Now I caught myself in 45 minutes. Now I'm catching myself in 10 minutes. And it's going to fluctuate. Like I said, there are times when my anger is in thought. I'm not a yeller. That's not my nature. So a lot of people wouldn't even think I experience anger because I'm not that person who yells. But there are times where I'm so angry about a situation, especially of an unjust situation, that I can let it control me longer than I want. And then I realize, is this who I want to be? Is this how I want to show up for myself and others in the world? Because I am a believer in what I focus on, I'm giving it the power to grow. So if I'm focused on anger, I am helping grow anger. It's not a right or wrong. So like if you need to be angry, I really encourage you to feel what you need to feel. Just know that the longer you stay there, the more it takes control. And then you just shift back, be gentle with yourself, and pull yourself back to some tools that work for you. I have a morning practice that I get up every day. I listen to an inspirational video. I might do a tapping exercise. I list off my appreciations. There's many different things that I do each morning to get my mindset ready for the day. And then when my mindset goes into frustration, or perhaps it goes into fear of what I'm trying to accomplish and it's not coming quick enough, then I go back into some of my tools. Definitely appreciation. That's one of my first go-to tools. Saying the words, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's another one I do. Or just shift from thinking about what you are thinking about, because sometimes it's hard to bring appreciation to that, and think of something that does make you smile and does bring happiness to your heart. And the last thing I really, really want to leave you with today is, however you figure out a way to help you and know that you're worthy of it, whether it's coaching, getting a coach, happy to help, whether it's going to counseling because you need that more expertise, help. It is not a weakness in the slightest. Matter of fact, I think it's a huge superpower to ask for help in something that you're afraid of, because there is that stigma around it, and that stigma, let's just let that stigma go and know you're worthy of however it is that brings you peace and contentment to your heart. So that's what I'm going to leave you with today. Thank you, everyone, for joining me and dealing with me being driven crazy by my headset. I don't know what's going on today. Maybe my head grew overnight or something. I'm not sure. But I will be back. Actually, I'm going to be here Saturday, and we're going to be talking about compassion. I've got a few guests who are joining me to talk about what does compassion mean to you? How do you practice it in your own life? How are you compassionate to yourself? I know for me, even when people say they're always kind, I'm like, I practice kindness daily. I coach kindness, and I'm not always kind. And it's usually I'm most unkind to myself. So how is it that you can bring a little bit more compassion into your life for yourself, and then be a ripple effect for the people around you? It's going to be 11:30 on Saturday. And I think I have 4 guests joining me, which I've not done more than one person at a time before. So you might come for some humor, because it may or may not work. We'll have to see, but hopefully it will. And I hope my tips today helped you think about anxiety in a different way. It is not, you aren't anxiety. You may be dealing with anxiety, but you are whole. You are complete. You are loved, and you're deserving of love just as you are. You don't need to do anything different. Breathing, heartbeat, and being you. That's all that's necessary to be worthy in this world. So go out there, have a great day. Please be gentle with yourself. Know that I am here to help heighten your celebrations and lessen your sorrows through a positive focus. And remember, you matter. You matter to me. You matter to the world. And most importantly, you matter to you. So, excuse me. So go out and have a great day. If this video has helped you at all, please feel free to share it, or let friends who might need to have a little positive focus added to their lives to come join us on our conversations on Tuesday and Thursday. I am off to the lake to get some boats set up for the sailing season this year, of taking out people with physical limitations to teach them how to sail. It's quite empowering and fun. So have a great day, and we'll talk on Saturday, and then again Tuesday and Thursday of next week. So long for now.